He who controls the weather controls the economy. When the storms come, ships don't move. When the ships don't move, shelves go empty. When the shelves go empty, fear goes up. And when fear goes up, markets fall. So ask yourself, are you watching the storm? Or are you positioned above it? News flashing red like a warning sign. War on the screen, but they call it fine. Politicians talking, but they shifting blame. While the price of bread ain't the same. Storm hit coast, not a port shut down. Containers stuck, whole world slowed down. They say coincidence, I raise my brow. Every crash got a headline now. Clouds move different when money involved. Somebody somewhere already solves how to profit when panic spreads. Why the average man just bows his head. I don't wanna bow, I wanna rise. Change my climate, change my skies. If the season cold, I book that flight. Sunshine, living my whole damn life. If the rain fall heavy, I relocate. If the market shake, I recalibrate. I ain't drowning what they create. I move before it's too late. Let's talk about it. Storm outside, but I walk around it. Let's talk about it. What a change, I adjust my climate. He who controls the weather controls the will forever. Let's talk about it. Yeah, talk about it. They distract with drama.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Lux Talk. My name is Oren, Coach Wright. Super excited to be here tonight. Listen, there's a lot going on in the world right now. A lot going on. I'm talking about, if you watch the news, like I'm not a news person, but I'm going to show you, ladies and gentlemen, just like in this song said tonight, he who controls the weather controls the economy. I want you guys to think about it for a minute. We'll pull up, we're going to go over to the live screen in a second. But let's talk about the weatherman, standing in front of the what do you call it? News, weather thingy, whatever you call it. Okay. Right here. Perfect. I want you guys, everybody can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So think about this for a minute. This weatherman is standing in front of this image of the world, the state, the country, the city. And he studied the pattern. He studied the pattern of the way the wind and how the storm is going to affect that city, that state, that country. Do you know what we do? We do the same exact thing, but with currencies, with candles. We do the same exact thing. You see, they're looking at the weather. You see, if there's a storm that affects the crops, that also affects the economy. He who controls the weather controls their own personal economy. I want us to get so rich that when it's raining and snowing in one part of the world, we could get up and say, you know what? I'm about to change this. I'm about to change this. So now that we know, I've been through this season before, this season of war, the season of, different talks about which direction the market is going to go into. I've been in this before. One of the biggest seasons for me was Brexit back in 2016. June 20th, 2016 is when I saw that one of the largest moves ever, 2,000 pips in seconds on GBP JPY. 2,000 pips. It doesn't matter if you was right or wrong. you still lost that trade because the spreads open up so wide. You blew your account. Okay. So now, ladies and gentlemen, because we know that's a whole bunch of news that's going to happen, you know, even invisible news. When I say invisible news, I'm talking about news that's not even going to show up on here. Okay. So as you can see, red folders all week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Okay. So with all of this news that's happening, the news that they're talking about right here, this is standard. This is standard news. But then they're going to hit you with the news that we don't really care about. Orange, yellow, gray folders. Watch, you're going to see a lot of volume because this news is happening every minute. This small folder news that when you see spikes that happen and you say, whoa, whoa, what's going on? That's the small folder news nobody even looking at. But it has its own impact. So look at this news right here, 2:30, 3:15. That's a lot going on. This is what pushes the market. This is why during that London session, you see a lot of volume. Now let's go over to the New York session. Look at all this volume and news that's happening during the New York session. And it's not red folders, but we need this type of volume. This is the 1 minute volume. Okay. There's different types of folders. The 1 minute volume, you're going to see it on that gray folder. Okay. Then you'll see the 5 and the 15s on the yellows and the orange. But the news that's going to really shake the market is the red folders. That's going to be your higher time frame, your 4 hours, your daily. That's where you see the large moves happen. Does that make sense? 903 in the chat box. And I'm sharing this with you because this is the type of news that moves pairs like gold. Take a look at gold right here. Gold gapped. So if you were in a trade right here on gold in a sell over the weekend, that gap was over 1,000 pips against you. But now when you look at the blueprint, you say to yourself, hold on, let me look at the blueprint. We got a breaker structure up, change of direction. And then is this the last buy candle before the drop? 50%. Let me see what happened. You woke up into the gap. Come on, this stuff really works like this. It opened on a Sunday in the gap. Now we're right here. I put a vertical line right on the current candle. I'm going to drop down. We'll see a pullback. Drop down. Okay. It don't look like much. Switch to your line chart. Don't look like much. Now, you got a whole pattern right here. You got a head and shoulder pattern right here on the 5-minute time frame. You got your high, low, higher high, change of direction. Now, if gold, after they come back and decide they want to fill this gap, all you got to do is wait for them to tell you that the buyers are still in control. I don't care about none of this because this is my first time looking at this. All I'm focused on right now is gold. Will you come back above this range? Would you come back above this range? This is the 5-minute time frame. This is not the 1 hour, the daily. This is the 5-minute. So this move could happen in no time. You know, we have an area right here on gold. Look what gold is presenting here. I know you see it. If they want to continue, turn around, all they got to do is just play this move now. All they got to do is come back above this. That could be an entry. Okay. But you let them do what they have to do right now. Don't chase them. You already know where your entry is at right there. This was a inverted right here. So we're fighting in between inverted violation, retest, sell. So the sellers, they got both a head and shoulder and inverted right here. Now, if they continue pushing this market lower, we need them below this zone. Left shoulder. Anything else down there? Now you can clearly see the pattern. Okay. So we got this market, and I'm saying to myself, if they're going to continue to drop, I need them below this level. Below this zone, pull back, drop. If they're going to continue to buy, you already see the patterns here. Okay. Perfect. All right, let me sell this. Let me save that. You said oil on the daily. Wow. I
Yeah,
see
with all
oil
this,
on the
with
4
all
hour.
this.
Continue. Whoa.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I know if you can hear me. Yeah, with all this going on, right, in the world right now, I was waiting for oil. I know this is in crypto, but I was waiting for oil to see what was going to happen. So they just closed, well, earlier today, they just closed this area of the Middle East called the Straits of Hormuz. And that is where I believe they said 20% of all the world's oil comes through those straits. So if that's blocked off, I'm thinking, wow, oil may start to take off. And could we get ahead of it? Right? Could we get ahead of it? And so what I'm looking at, what I see on the daily is if it gets above that head on the daily, it could come back and just continue to take off. So I'm looking, yeah. Is that the daily?
Yep.
Yes. So you see that there's a left shoulder right there? Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So I marked that left shoulder up. It's coming up to that. So we could get a reaction off the bottom of that because this is a daily and it's there right now.
Ooh,
But I'm
you got
thinking
it's in there. It's in there. It's just
it's
gapped.
yeah,
It
yeah.
just gapped.
So but anyway, that's what I was looking at. So I'm sorry to interrupt.
No. It's a good one because what you're seeing is you wanted this market to come back to this level to respect this right shoulder on the head and shoulder pattern. Now, it did exactly what it was supposed to do, but it opened up in a gap. So now we drop down to see if we can find a pattern inside of this gap. Okay. See if we can find that pattern in this gap because we know that they were supposed to come up here and give us a rejection to sell down. Now, okay, on the 3 minute, here's what I'm seeing. Because remember, we dropped down because there was no pattern. So now on the 3 minute, what do we see? Boom. If they want to continue dropping, we need them to close below, retest, and then continue dropping based off the 3 minute because you can see the pattern that form right in here. Okay. So I found my pattern. Same thing with that 1 minute. It's still in the same area. Still in the same area. So if they're going to continue to drop, we need them to go below this level of 75.81. Alert. We're going to put crossing down. 75.81. Show sound, play pop-up, and oil. All right, perfect. I got an alert there. All right. So I'm glad you called that out because we are going to be looking at, we're going to start with the dollar and we're going to be starting on the higher time frame. Now, yes, we said this before about maybe 2 weeks ago, how we knew that the dollar was going to get strong. This is before any of this news and war and stuff like this. What were they doing prior to this? You know, let's say 2 weeks ago, we were looking at this dollar. We were around this area here. And the one thing we noticed, let's focus on this area because we know that's a head and shoulder pattern. Beautiful violation. I'll grab this area right here. Okay. So we can see that they violated right in this zone. Okay. After closing above, rejection. The only thing that happened, this is the dollar. After, now, ladies and gentlemen, did they do exactly what they were supposed to do? Come back to this range. They did exactly what they were supposed to do. Now, but the next day, they gap down. Why? What were you missing down here that made you gap down? That's the research you got to do when you're looking at this market. When you can't explain what happened, why you lost that trade, you got to go back and research it. So now they gap down to this area. My question is, why here? Okay, so I'm just going to put a line right in that area. We know that we have a break of structure here. I'm just going to title this because when I drop to a lower time frame, it's going to disappear. Okay, we got a break of structure there, and we got a starting point right in this area. So we're going to see what this is on a lower time frame. All right, let's go ahead and drop down. I'll just go ahead and speed to the 1 hour. All right, on the 1 hour time frame, I think we're about to see something. I think we're about to, yes, we got a starting point here, Shani. Yes, we do, which is right here. But look at this. You see that high right there? I want you to think about, remember, seeing it before you even look at this. Think about this. High, low, higher high, change of direction. Now, when I switch to my line chart, watch. Here it comes. Right here. Here it comes. So now you drop down, you're going to start to see it now. Boom. There it is. So right in this area, what do I see right here is a head and shoulder pattern. This break of structure on the higher time frame, that was the wick. This is the head. Boom. On the lower time frame, we got violated right there. So now, when they remember what we spoke about, what's first will be last, and what's last will be first. The first breakout was because of over here. I mean, the last breakout was over here. The first one was because of this one. So now when we switch back to those candles, that's why I gapped to come right back to this level that they took off from. Does that make sense? Do y'all see it? Go back, do your research. All right, do your research. Now, this is the reason why, just like a magnet, they came right back to this level. You want to know where the market is going to come back to? Find a violation anywhere on your chart. Okay? Find a violation anywhere on your chart. Just pick a random chart. Let's say EuroCAD. Go to your higher time frame. Switch to your line chart. Look for a violation anywhere. Okay? Find a violation that have not been retested. You might say to yourself, let me see. I got one right here. Okay, they closed above. Violation right there. Let me see. Almost got a retest. So now you know you look back and say, hey, they never came back to this level. This was last year, August 2025. They gapped down. So hold up. If you gap down, how many pips are you away from this level? That's about 100 pips. So if they're trying to pull back up to this range, you gap down for a reason. So if you're trying to pull back up here, I need to find an inverted that was violated. So now I know where you're coming back to, so I can, jump in. Could this be one? That's the head. Maybe. And then this would be my left shoulder. We'll look at all of them because they still could come back and play this area. Okay. And is it anything in here? Nope. There's nothing else we can do here on the daily. So now guess what we got to do? We got to drop down. Okay. Drop down. I'm on a 4-hour now. 4-hour. We got a head right here. If we close below it, we know we got a setup. Yes. So now I got to go here. Okay. So now when I look at this, I said, okay, all I needed to do right here, okay, that gap on a lower time frame, you're going to see even lower that it closed below because of that gap. So now look at this gap down. My zone is right here. We got a starting point in that area. That's a massive gap. Beautiful inverted. Head violated. They're currently 15 pips away from that zone. Could we see them come back to this level? Yes, we know it's right in the gap zone. But imagine this trade right here. Imagine this trade, even if they threw it, I would put a stop above this high. Okay. I'll put a stop above that high just in case they want to really come back and close that gap. I'm feeling that they want to come and react anywhere in this range. They want to make that U-turn. This is on EuroCAD. And seeing that this level is here, this could be a possible trade, EuroCAD. That's about 100 pips. So if we can get EuroCAD in this range, possibly stops anywhere between here to here, it's about 30 pips. Start on the test trade. Remember, you're still on the 2-hour time frame. You start on that test trade. This is what we're looking for. As this market is pulling back, you want to see them create the pattern. Right? They create that pattern, you're good. Okay? Here we are dropping to a lower time frame. They are pulling back. Okay? They are pulling back. Let's see. Where do they want to go? All right. We still got this area right here. That's why I like the zone. Even on the 30-minute, how it lines up. This is the head, close below. Looks good. Okay. Even from this range, that's, if they pull back to this level, you can have a target here. Okay. Even that's like 45, almost 50 pips. Go ahead and save that. Okay. GBP NZD. I'm looking on higher time frames tonight. Because if any news comes out, we want to be able to make sure that we're capturing it on the opposite side, meaning that especially with pound moves fast. Okay. Pound moves fast. So we see that on a daily, if pound decides to close below this level, that could be a massive move. But now your next question is, if they do close below the level, where are they going? So this is why we look on a higher time frame to get a better understanding of where could they possibly drop down to. Okay. Have an inverted here sitting around the 2.22, right in this area. Trying to see if I have a head and shoulder inside. Okay. I do believe because we're below this level now, based off the weekly. Okay. Weekly is telling me we're in a downtrend. So because we're below this zone here, I'm putting this here because we broke out here on the weekly. Now, watch what happens when I switch back to daily. Okay, that leaves me right in the same area, but we need to close below this level. This is the daily. So the daily needs to close below this. So I'm going to put daily low, because if they pull back, the 4-hour might have something. Four-hour might, yes, they do. The 4-hour got something. Okay. The 4-hour got it right here. Yep, right about here. So now, if we get this 4-hour play, okay, we got the breakout right here. The violation right there. Here's our zone. Now, if we enter this play on the 4-hour, we could have a daily target. Now, if we break this daily low, this is another entry right here. So this 4-hour could be a test. Okay. This could be a test trade right here. That could be a test trade on the 4-hour GBP NZD. Okay. And your test can run about, this test could run about 166 pips. This would be considered a swing. Okay. So now if we close below this level, we close below that level, now you have another entry there that's going to possibly take you to the zone here. Okay. So that's GBP NZD. Hope you guys are getting screenshots on these. And you can also find them under your master ideas right over here. Okay. All right, let's take a look at EU. Big drops. Let's go to the weekly. All right, EU. Where are we going? Do anybody see anything on the weekly on EU? Yep, perfect. Right here on EU, if this is the one you're looking at, okay? Number one, violation happened right there. Boom, you see that? Here's another tool that you can use to mark that. It would be your cross line. So basically, this would be the high, and that would be the breakout area. So you can put your cross line just like that. Okay. So that's a cool and effective way to do it. It shows the area where we broke out of, and then boom. So now we switch back over to our line. Let's see, did EU retest this level? Because from where they are right now, that's about 59 pips away from that zone. Nope, did not touch it. EU did not touch it. Now, look at the volume, look at the wicks inside of this area, meaning that that market broke out, retested zone, and gave you a massive run up. We're talking about over 200 plus pips. What happened on January 26th, 2026? Right in this area. Okay, so now let me just switch back over to my line because something happened over here. Let me just put a high up here so I'll know, I'll remember we got a high up there. Something happened up here. Drop to my daily. Okay, as we can see, the market made a nice shift up to that level, broke major highs. Okay, so now, looked like we had something in this area based off the daily. Based off the daily, we had a level here, right there. So now, could that have been the area that they tapped? Nope, we still didn't touch that level yet. They just gapped down. So could that gap be the reason why they want to come down and touch this level? Get a nice rejection. I'm not saying it's going to go all the way up here, but we could get a nice rejection and get a minimum of 20 to 50 pips off of that play right there. Because now staying on the daily, switch here. Okay. I think I understand it now. On the daily, we had an inverted right here. It was violated right here. It was violated right there. So they did exactly, this gap did exactly what it was supposed to do at the right time. So we know this thing is falling. Okay. I know it's falling now. All right. The dollar might be gaining some strength as this was the first entry down into this zone here. We're going to get trapped. This is going to be a range. This is going to turn out to be a range from here to here. Price range. From here to here, it's going to turn out to be a range. And this is what I was showing you yesterday, Mike. Wow. That's going to be my range. I love it when they show me this stuff. Okay. Switch to my line chart. And look how these ranges. Okay. That's right. So we're going to see the next breakout for EU could be down to this range. Okay. Could be down in this range here. And if we get EU down into this range, we got a nice reversal. We got a nice reversal showing up. First stop. Well, not first stop, but we got a level here. Okay. Breakout. Did they touch it? Nope. See, this is still fresh over here. We can smell it. It's still fresh. So if EU breaks out of this level here, coming down to the zone, the real money is sitting here. Okay. This could be a big play. Didn't we have a play on Euro NZD for a sell too? They might be setting up also. So I want to keep our eyes out. Number one, they're going to come back to this area. They're probably going to play ping pong in here. They're probably going to play ping pong in this area. Okay. We got a lot of news that's going to be happening. So again, with this range, this is going to be our range. And if they do something like this, boom, spike to the high, and then trap to the low, we know that they're moving to the downside. Okay, let's go ahead and save that. Get a screenshot. We had a play on Euro NZD. Yes. This was supposed to be a 2,000 pip drop on Euro NZD. I hope my entry wasn't too high. Yeah, it's the daily time frame. I love this move because they already showed us that we got a violation. The only thing that I'm waiting for, hopefully that there wasn't something right in here. I'm waiting. Why do I have my entry that high? It should have been down here. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I hope I didn't miss the bus. The breakout happened right here. Did they wick? Oh, I hope I didn't miss the bus. Why did I have this zone so high? Now, okay, they got the wick in this area. Okay, this is going to be a massive move. That's already 800 pips on that level. So now, okay, if we didn't catch this move, we gotta catch a ride to the next bus stop. Okay. We got to jump on those planes that got layovers. So now, however, whatever your setup was, that's what your entry needs to be. Whatever your setup was, that's what your entry needs to be like. So what was our setup? The inverted violation. That was our setup. So now, what else do we need to look for now? What pattern do we need to look for in order to continue to see this sell? We need to see the same thing. We need to see drop, pullback, drop low, higher, violation, boom, and bam. Lower time frame. That's right. So now we line chart. Okay. Line chart, we say, based on the daily, I'm watching. Okay. We know it could be something in here somewhere, but look at what stands out to you first. Okay. That's why I like to move my chart. You see what I'm doing? I don't want to just look at it like this, because sometimes you can't see it. But when you stretch the chart over and do this, now you say, okay, what do I see? Set my alarm. Boom. Where's the head? Right there. So now, if we miss this entry at the top, we set our alarm below this level, 1.95930. Once we get that break, confirmation, retest, it's all downhill from here. Because once you break that level, target one is right there. You may not have got the entry here, but the confirmation entry still gave you 688 pips. I'll take it. Okay. And when you look at the target, make sure it lines up. You say to yourself, hey, I know you. You look familiar. Who am I? You got violated. Boom. Where? Right here. Candles. They never came back. That lines up with your target. So if your NZD gives us this play on a higher time frame, that's a swinger. I'm all in. Okay, let's go ahead and save that again. All right, all right. So where we're putting our stop loss above the head. Now, entering here, your stop loss, switch back over to your line chart. Remember, wherever there's an inverted, you will always see a regular head and shoulder. Wherever you see an inverted, trust and believe that regular head and shoulder is right there, always. Okay, so what do we see? Inverted right here. What do we see? Regular head and shoulder right there. So if I'm entering my trade here, use the head of the regular head and shoulder for my stop loss. Okay, because now you know if it violates this area here, that's a violation. Okay, the thing about Lux, ladies and gentlemen, we know where we're putting our stop loss. We're not just guessing. Okay, so we'll put an alarm at 1.95898 on Euro NZD. So if we get that close below, that would be a nice play. You know, even if you got scared and you just took, look, right here, from here to here, that's 30 pips. 30 pips. These pairs really do move. Okay? They really do move. You don't have to trade gold all day. My alternative to gold is GJ. Yes. Think about GJ. This thing really does move. And they got a lot of news happening at 2 p.m. All right, so here we are. Let's go over to the daily time frame real quick on GJ. And now let's ask ourselves, we already spoke about this the other day, why they decide to reject right here. Now, looking at GJ, right in here, I see, but did it? Nope. I thought it closed below. Nope. We got the high, low, higher high, but we did not close below. So that is not valid because I want to know why are they coming back and where? And if they don't hold this level, I see an inverted right here, and I see a zone here. So basically, what this was a inverted that pushed the market up. They came back and reacted off the level. Stop loss, yep, that was the right shoulder. Stop loss goes here. So now, okay. We touched the zone here. I just want to check something. We touched the zone here, and usually, in order to get into a trade after it rejects off this level, we look for something like this. The market is dropping down, pull back, fake out, change of direction. Okay. And then when they touch the level, which is right here, we want to see them create a head and shoulder violation and push up. Let's see if we can find that anywhere in here, because that would make sense. So now let's drop. See if we can find that pattern anywhere in here. On the 4 hour, ooh, we know we got a head and shoulder right there. We know they got a violation right in this area. Okay. So now we have drop, pull back, drop, pull back. Right here, right here. We got it right here. So this would be the highest one. So let me take this one off. And now I'm going to put it here. Boom. Okay. So now we know the violation happened right here. Okay. The violation happened right there. And did they retest? No. Ooh, they almost gapped into it. So is it possible GJ can give us a reaction right at 209.000? That's on the 4 hour time frame. Okay. 4 hour time frame. Now, would I leave the 4 hour time frame to go higher and look for something over here? I would say no, stay here. Okay, stay here, because If you drop to a lower time frame, you see that these areas that's reacting like in this area, they already picked that up. But what's fresh? What's fresh is over here, down in this area. Okay. So you're just looking at this now. Let this market do what it has to do. Okay. In a downtrend, what was the one thing we just talked about? Look at this downtrend right here, downtrend. What pattern do you see them cooking up? Right here. Yep. Nope. Right here. Look. Head and shoulder. Head and shoulder. Okay. Head and shoulder. Head and shoulder. Okay. In the downtrend, all they're doing is drop, pull back, push higher, change of direction. All right. Trap. Okay. Pull back, push higher. Now, when they retest, I spoke about this for years. Let me zoom in so you guys can see this. Okay. This play I spoke about for years, but most people could not comprehend it. Think about this. That market dropped. Okay. They pull back. This is your consolidation phase. They push higher. Most people might see this as a liquidity grab. Okay. But I've always said for years, this isn't the broker looking at your stop loss. This isn't the broker looking at, oh man, I'm going after that person's stop loss. What this was, that pullback was to a right shoulder that you didn't see. An example, left shoulder, zone is right here. But in the moment, all you see is this, rise, pull back, rise, pull back. This looks like consolidation to you. So now here you are, right in this area. This looks like consolidation. High, low, high, low, high, low. Because let me see, are they throwing wicks there? Yeah, they're throwing wicks in this zone. That's consolidation. But what you don't see is in that consolidation, they spike to the high. You're thinking, oh man, they're going after the stop losses. What if they're just going to pick up that right shoulder? That right shoulder right here. Now, when they form this, when they come back to pick up that right shoulder, all they're doing, this is the key part right here. I don't think I've ever shared this with you. This is when they create the key level. Okay? That's the strongest zone when you see a key level. What is the key level? It's when a head and shoulder is formed. It gives you the change of direction, support, resistance, flip. Yep. And then it comes back to complete the right shoulder and falls. When you see this type of play, complete the right shoulder, it sealed this area. That becomes a key level now. So when the violation happens, right here, this is where it's going to make sense now. When the violation happens, why do they come back to this area? I think that might have been the piece right there. That's sauce for you. Okay. So write this one down. When that market creates that pattern, left shoulder, head, change the direction, you're like, uh-oh, we're missing that right shoulder. And that thing just keeps dropping, 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 consolidation, and then spikes. Boom. We got a perfect match. And then it drops lower. So now what do we have? We got a zone, AKA supply zone, AKA starting point. When you see that market after retesting that right shoulder, rinse and repeat. That's right. When you see that market after retesting that right shoulder, give you a massive drop down, creating a breaker structure, you know the next time they come through, They're coming through violently. They not playing any games. That's right. The next time they come through, they pushing that market up with force. Boom, just like that. They have to. They have no choice now. What pattern do they complete now? That's right. So now when they start to come back down, they're doing the same thing. Consolidation. This is the reason why I ask all of you, which side of the market, which side of consolidation did we break first? Once you learn that, oh, we broke to the upside. Perfect. They're telling you something. If they have consolidation and they break to the up and then trap and start dropping down, that's letting you know, okay, I see what's going on. You did the same thing over here. Okay. You did the same thing over here. You trapped. And now you broke this level right in this zone. You're coming down here. Ladies and gentlemen, sometimes we see the market coming to us and we want to meet it on the highway. No, 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 no. Let me meet you on the highway. No. The market get paid to come to you. Let them be your bellhop. Let it come to you. We see it moving and we say, yo, is that the market over there? I think that's the market. Look at them. And the market is coming to tell you, stay put, stay put. But then what happens? Something ever takes so long to show up that now all of a sudden we got to get into our car and go look for it? Oh man, let me go over here and check. You going over here to go look for it, and now they at your house. That's when you missed it. So now with this play sitting over here, we got a key level. So now when they start to come back up, you know what's going to happen over here. This is why your first entry, you have a target around this level. Oh, that's going to be my target right there. All right, perfect. Get out. Do what you got to do. Let them do what they got to do. Boom, boom, boom. Consolidation. Spike to the high. Drop down to the low, throw a wick. Boom. And they out. Over and over and over. All right, GJ. Okay. I'm gonna have to let them cook up a little bit more on that 30. All right, so yeah, I'm on the 15 now. I'm setting alarms below the head. Okay. They just violated that. And I'm setting alarms above the heads. Okay. Above this head, they're going up 100 pips. Above this head, they're going up 100 pips. Okay. Below these heads, below these zones. Okay. Below those levels, here, we got to go higher to see where they're going. Where they, oh my goodness. Breaking this. I want to break it before I get down here. Because, I want to get this. Y'all see that? Sitting right there. I mean, to tell me, GJ, we got to break right there. Did you ever come back? Oh, that gap almost got it. Okay. Okay. Gap almost got it. So, oh, this is beautiful. This is a beautiful head and shoulder pattern. Break happened right there. Sellers came in right here. Inverted is right there. Okay. We got an inverted right there. Yep, that's the sound of the confirmation. If we can get them below this level, pull back, we can run that wave all the way down. And that's on GJ. It's about a good 85 pips. All right, good 85 pips. All right, it's going to be between the 2 hour and the 1 hour time frame. Okay. See, the 1 hour got a wick because of that gap. 1 hour got a wick because of that gap. But yes, if we can get them below this level right here, looking for possible drops on GJ. All right. You guys want to look at anything before we get off here? Vinny, what you got for me? Oh, you still in traffic? Okay, okay. Perfect, perfect. Let me see.
Look at that NZD CAD 2 hour. I'm looking for that for sale.
NZD CAD 2 hours.
Actually, it's in the zone right now, but I think it's kind of moving up a little bit. But I'm thinking it's gonna get a drop.
Okay.
And on Lux charts, you look at it, it's right at a lifeline. So I'm looking for a little nice drop, a little bit.
Let me see. Are you basing it off of this one?
Yeah, right there. Yes, sir.
This one right here.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Good stuff. Good stuff. Right in that zone. All right. It's beautiful rejection off of that level. It's doing what it's supposed to do. It's in that level. Now, why a target here? Okay. Why targeting that level?
Because it you know what? It opened up in a gap,
Mm-hmm.
but it's if I'm not looking for it to go too far down, it's going right into an inverted regular head and shoulders
Mm-hmm.
for a buy if it goes down there.
Okay. Just be careful with
Yeah,
them,
yeah.
spiking up. So give yourself some wiggle room. So even
Okay.
if this is your entry, you got a head sitting up here. So
Mm-hmm.
even though this is your entry, that risk is about 40, 40 pips. You're risking about $4.
Mm-hmm.
All right. $4 on that trade. Now I'm going higher to see where could this drop go to. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Clean. If we get this daily break below here, that can be a nice free fall and look like the nearest section could be. I want to use this zone here, but look like I might have to use that.
Mm-hmm.
So that fall could be anywhere in between this range. Okay, and again, why we want this, let's see. Anything clear up? Looks like they already got this one already. Okay. Yep. See when they closed above? Yep, they already tagged that. So
Mm-hmm.
this one is already done. That's done. All right. So this one, put an X on it, is done. What about this one? This is the next highest one. Anywhere in this range. Mouse died. Right? Anywhere in this range would be the next one. I'll just bring it down here. Okay. So I'm pretty sure they didn't come back here yet. All right, boom. So now we know if they do get past this level, we could be looking at a massive run on NZD CAD
Mm-hmm.
down to this level.
Mm.
Okay, so be on the lookout just in case you see a large candle. Man, that the way this thing is shaped. You remember when I told you in the beginning when we started this call, we are similar to these meteorologists, the people from the news that predict the weather. You see how they talk about the shapes of the clouds and, the way the tornado. You ever hear somebody describe a tornado? Well, look at how when we see these charts and we see these patterns, and the first thing we say is, look at the shape of this. They failed to make highs. And once they broke this middle area here, violated, created the inverted violation using this zone right here, when they came back, this could be a massive drop.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't be surprised if, I don't know, this week, next week, that we open up our charts and we see something that looked like this. I wouldn't be surprised. Looking at these patterns, we are pattern specialists. We can open up these charts, identify the pattern, and take the trade.
Can I throw
Okay.
something in real quick?
Yep.
Yeah. So if Canada is typically known for coinciding
Oil.
with oil, yes,
Oil.
sir.
Mm-hmm.
And now, so with the narrative that's going on in the world right now, if
Wow.
oil starts to go up, that means CAD is going to start to go up. And if CAD gets stronger, wouldn't that mean that NZD would be getting weaker?
Of course. Come on now. That's what I'm
That's,
talking about.
that's all I had to say.
Nah. What? What? That's what I'm talking about right there. You said USD CAD would sell? Yes, because look at the side. The dollar is on the left side, CAD is on the right hand side. So the dominant side would be the left hand side if you were looking at it like that. So if we were to look at a chart, um, let's say if we were looking at TradingView, and on TradingView, we decided to type in, which we know that there's no such thing called CAD USD, but watch, I can find it. CAD USD. Okay, perfect. There it is. CAD USD. Now watch. When you look at CAD USD, even though we know that it's USD CAD, this is it on. There we go. Perfect. So now all this is just going to be the exact model of the USD CAD. Okay. So what do we see here? We switch over to our line chart and we see that CAD USD, okay, CAD USD just did what? Violation. Yes. Okay. I'm telling y'all getting that sauce, man. CAD USD did a violation with a sniper entry. This pair don't even exist. Okay. Now, when we go to USD CAD, Boom. You got a sell opportunity. Well, it's dropping.
All the way.
Okay. Perfect. All right. So right in this area, boom, right here. So now we have a violation. And did they come back up to that level? This is where we needed them to tap in. We needed them to tap in right in this area. Okay. So is it possible that we could see USD CAD start to fall? Yeah, USD CAD start to fall. But then we look at, let's look at the CXY. The CXY, this is the Canadian dollar by itself. See what it looks like on a higher time frame. Wow, looks strong to me. Okay, looks powerful. Okay, look at that posture. Got an inverted right here. Okay, it's still in the bias territory. It's the daily. They need to violate this level before we start to get nervous. Because when you look at this zone here, they had a beautiful area right there. Okay, they broke out right here. Now, they never came back to this area. So, I mean, before they rise, they may need to pull back and do something with a wick down to this area and then making that move. This is the currency by itself, but this is on the daily time frame. So daily time frame is a little larger. Okay. Daily time frame, yes, it's a little larger. So we switch to the smaller time frame, which you can see like immediate moves, like right now moves, something like this on a 1 hour time frame. We're going to have a hard time right here. Yep. So right here, they may give us a hard time on the Canadian dollar. Okay. But if they do reject and start falling down, okay, like I said, we could have an issue right there. So looking at this on the 1 hour time frame, you ask yourself, all right, so if we break out of that level right above, we got another construction zone. We're not safe for Canadian dollar to get stronger until they break out of these levels. All right. We need something, and then something big might happen. So that's telling you already you need something big to happen to break these levels right here. All these construction zones right here, warning, warning. That means we need a large candle. So when we look at that, the only area that they haven't tapped yet all right, they in that zone here, but this zone right there is what I'm looking at. It's the 1 hour time frame. So could they come back? Do they have a reason to pull back to this level and then give us a rise on CAD? We'll save that. Take a look at it tomorrow. You know, yeah, perfect. We know they all got news coming up. So, bro, did that answer your question on NZD CAD?
Yep, look good to me. Thank you, sir.
Perfect. All right. You, chef. Hmm. Can we look at gold? Yes. Yep. Look at some gold. Okay. First thing I noticed is we got this zone here on the candles. Okay. This was a starting point. Gold is in that level right now on the starting point where we usually look for sales. But I want to show you something right now because we're right here in this level. Now I'll drop down and see, do we have a pattern in here? I'm only going to trade this if I see a pattern. We know that sellers are in this range. So I need to see two setups, either regular head and shoulder and inverted, and it needs to be clear. Okay. So I know we had a regular head and shoulder here. So if they close above, I'm looking for short buys. Then we have a inverted that was right here. Okay. So when we violated that zone, they just playing games right now. Came back, retest sold, came back and retest the level. Now it looks like they're closing above this range. So they want to play around with it. Okay. So now they should bounce off of that level. But inside, we should see a head and shoulder in here. Yep. Okay. Violation. Okay. Perfect. So we do have a head and shoulder right here on gold. Okay. They are going to react right here. Small reaction here. You sold at 53.79. Oh wow, good stuff. You got in up here. Ooh, you must have gotten in at this one, right in this area. Good stuff. Good job. Wow. I'm putting an alarm. 53.60. Looking to see if we can get to 51.70. Yeah. Yeah, definitely want to see that. All right, let me go ahead and save that. Now that 51.78 area. Wow. Can you imagine that swing? That would be a nice swing if we can get it down to that level. We are sitting in that 4 hour starting point right here. So we just want to make sure that we can get that rejection off the level and then continue dropping down. Okay. Hmm. Vinny, I think we might have some drops on US 30. Yeah. US 30, I see a couple setups. It all depends on, well, if it breaks below this one, they got to react off this first. Yeah, a lot of inverted violations look like they showing up over here. Okay. And that's the 4 hour. So US 30, if they close below this, but not here, we're pulling back. Okay. It's US 30. We might have some damage over here. Okay. Oh, wow. They got a gap there too. It just so happened they put a gap right in the area, right in that zone. Why did they do that? Why do they gap? Why? Because remember, it becomes a key level. So they need to push hard through that zone. Okay. Creates a gap in that level. Okay. I need to see a reaction here. Need to see a reaction on that. US 30. Nah, it's probably the same thing. It looked like they all got the same, look like it's about to be a bloodbath in the market.
Hey, Oren, can I jump in again real quick?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So with this impending war looming, typically money moves into different arenas. And right now, they say that money is moving into safe haven assets. So safe haven assets are gold, and that means money will then be moving out of stocks, which is our US 30 and our NASDAQ and those things. Hence, that's why when you said it's going to be a bloodbath, it probably is because people are getting out of stocks right now and they're moving to where their money is safe.
I love that. Nice. I like that. I hope y'all taking notes on that. Wow, it all makes sense. This is German. German 30, German 40. Okay, it looks like we're about to get a nice break below. This is the cool part about this. Now you're about to see it happen in real time. Massive drop down, right? What comes after a strong move? Consolidation, massive drop down. So they're going to find consolidation somewhere. They're going to find a resting place. What other place that they can find would be the right shoulder to this inverted? Okay. The right shoulder to that inverted, right around that level. Okay. Also, they're playing inside of this violation. They're playing inside of that level. So if they push up, where they're coming back to, you might start to see a massive rise up and say, oh, they buying because of that right shoulder, or they buying back up to get that violation. And that's your move. That's it. So if we know now to be true that money shift from, just having it in all types of place to a safe place, I need to put my money in gold. And we know that a lot of these markets are going to start tanking. It's time to position ourselves. This is not the time where you say, all right, I do it when I'm ready. I do it. No, I'm going to share something with you. I shared this. It was this story by Will Smith. I don't know if you guys had a chance to listen to it, but it's perfect. This is the perfect time to be a trader. You see, it may be the worst time for a country or an economy, but remember, the millionaires, the billionaires, the wealth, they thrive in situations like this. So we have to think like the wealthy mindset and say, you know what, I know things are kind of tight, but oh man, just hold on. Place that trade. Place that trade. Don't be afraid. Listen to this. Oh, yeah. Unmute. I can't hear it on my end.
You can't either.
All right, let me speaker. And it was a good video too. There we go.
Is it in your Zoom settings for sharing the audio?
No, I can't even hear it on my end. Maybe something with Instagram today. But anyway, so basically he was saying that let me unplug this. Nope. All right. So basically he was saying that someone introduced him to Quincy Jones when, let me see. Oh, I see what happened. Instagram is being muted.
3 days would be good. That'd be more. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. And then he's like, but then his right hand, Warren Littlefield, something's going to come up. And he's not going to be able to be there. And they have to postpone
basically,
again. And he said,
when
but
he
right
first
now,
met Quincy Jones,
everybody that needs to say yes to this show
like,
is sitting in my living room waiting for you to audition.
Well, you know, Quincy told him to audition.
And I was like,
and
give me 10 minutes.
Said,
it was such
acting.
a valuable lesson.
And he said,
it's like,
you gotta give me 30 days.
Very few things more powerful than let's go. Yeah. You know, it's like you have the dream, the opportunity.
I don't like telling that story.
Medina.
Okay.
Benny Medina.
I'll tell it real quick.
Is actually the real lie.
He said, listen, he said, okay, we can do a week from now. He said, oh, that's perfect. It'll give me some time to do it. He said, but then a week from now, the people that I want you to, audition in front, the one who's going to make the big decisions, they're going to have to push it out another week from now. All right, so in 2 weeks from now, they'll be ready. He said, oh, that's perfect. That's perfect. He said, oh, but you know what? This person is not going to be here, and I really want this person to be here, but I know he's going to push it back about a month from now. Oh, yeah, a month. That's good. That's good. And then the point that he's trying to make is, or I'm trying to make right now is, we're waiting for that perfect moment to press the button. That setup that you're looking for right now, that home run setup, you don't know when it's going to happen. You don't know this is the time that you should press it right here. This it right here, but I'm not ready. Okay, we'll come back next week, but market conditions won't be the same next week. Okay, market conditions, this Trump talk. Do you know how quiet the market was the previous 4 years? Look how noisy the market is. Money opportunities all over the market. But what are we waiting for? We're waiting for better conditions, better setups, the same setup that you watch every single day on these charts. You want to see it happen again? The same setup? Mike is on what, week number 6 of marking up charts, marking up the pattern. And Mike, if you don't mind unmuting, how has that journey, how has it transformed the way you look and understand, look at trading and understand it? If you don't mind just sharing.
Yeah, I think I shared one time earlier when I was starting to do it. It was hard to not find the pattern work.
Hold on 1 second, because my mic is. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Do you hear me?
Perfect. Yep, loud and clear now.
Yeah, I think I mentioned when I first started marking it up, it was like on the 1 minute. Now I'm on the 1 hour, and I mentioned it's hard finding the pattern when it doesn't work. Like that's what I wanted to find. I wanted to find like, hey, coach, what happened here? Like we got no reaction, but it seems there's always a reaction, even if it's a little reaction. There's always something that comes off of that level once you mark it up on the violations.
That's right.
So and
Benny,
now that's what I'm looking for. I look for the violations, and it's been working.
That's all you need. That's all you need is the violation, because when you're just looking at the violation, you're not overthinking, oh, but I got to wait for this. I got to do this. Oh, I need this to happen. I need this. You're saying to yourself, what is the easiest thing? It's easier than looking for support and resistance, which is looking for the violation. I promise you, you can find the violation faster than you can find support or resistance, because the only problem with support and resistance versus the violation is that you don't know which support or resistance line to use. But when it comes to the violation, you know if it's fresh, you're going to use it. That's why it's so powerful. All right, check this out.
Medina is actually the real live Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Benny had gone from Watts to Beverly Hills. He pitched me the show. I was like, yeah, okay, that's cool. And he invited me to Quincy's house. It was Quincy's birthday after the Soul Train Music Awards. I was in town. I was just going to meet Quincy. So we go, and he said, hey, did Benny tell you about the show? So yeah, Benny told me it's really cool. You interested? Quincy, he had been drinking a little bit that night. And he was like, all right, we're going to do an audition. I was like, what? There were, a bunch of people in the room, and Quincy wanted me to do an audition in the middle of his living room at a party. And I was like, yo, Q, I can't do a audition. I haven't studied anything. And, he took me in the other room, and he was like, okay, tell me what you need. And I was like, Q, I need a couple weeks. I'm not even really an actor. Can I just give me, if I can get a script and I can get something to work on. He said, oh, so you need 2 weeks. I said, yeah. And he said, well, what's going to happen in 2 weeks is Brandon Tartikoff, who's the head of NBC, something's going to come up in this kid's game, and he's not going to be able to do it, so he's going to postpone. And he's going to need 2 weeks, so then we'll do it in 30 days. And I was like, oh, yeah, 30 days would be good. That'd be more, yeah. Perfect. Yeah. And he's like, but then his right hand, Warren Littlefield, something's going to come up, and he's not going to be able to be there, and they're going to have to postpone again. And he said, but right now, everybody that needs to say yes to this show is sitting in my living room waiting for you to audition. And I was like, give me 10 minutes. It was such a valuable lesson. It's like, there's very few things more powerful than let's go. Yeah. It's like you have the dream, the opportunity's there, just go. So there's a
Lux, go. Y'all got the blueprint. Okay? That's right. Lux, go. Press that button. This week, get those accounts open up. All right? Let's hear the stories. Man, I lost a trade this week. And guess what's fun about that? Now you lost a trade. Let's go figure out what happened. Losing the trade is like saying, yo, I'm going to go get my big brother. I'm going to go get my big brother, or your big sister, and you talk to the market. Let's go get it back. Let's go get it back. Let's go and figure out what happened. But if you're going to sit there and cry like a prom queen, because you blew an account, then we got a problem. Let's go figure out who did it and why. Because here's the thing, we get so upset and mad, we don't even realize that it may have just been our fault. I'm gonna leave you with this. I was thinking about this last night. We all, at some point in our lives, were the same age of our parents. And we can remember that moment at that age, whether watching your mother or your father come home from work. We can remember how tired they were. But let me ask you, knowing what you know now, even if you're at that age now or was at that age of your parents, what are you doing different? Are you coming home tired every single day and not changing it? You got the skill now. You got the skill now. Our parents back then, they had their own version of an opportunity. Whatever that opportunity was, our parents, they had it somehow. Okay? But now, what is your opportunity? Because there's going to be a point for those who have kids on this call that even your kids are going to have a chance, have an opportunity. Our opportunity right now, I know for me, is these charts, learning these skills. Being able to open up the chart and say, let me see. That looked like a violation. Opening up the stock market. Knowing what we know now, this is Boeing. And what do we see? The moment we see that, you could see this everywhere and say, look, I got to invert it right here. Boom, violation. Where did it occur? Right there. Switch back to my candles. Oh, they got a gap. We know they need to come back. But are they going to have trouble in this area? Boom. Where's the construction at? Where's the problems at? Boom. They just closed below. Where did it occur? Right here. We need them to react off of this level. Why did the market close directly at that level? They're going to gap. They're going to gap. When that market open up, we can already see they're either going to gap up because this level is a strong zone. They're either going to gap up or they're going to gap down. Let's keep our eyes on Boeing, and we're going to see. Look at this. The break happened right there. So I'm going to save this for tomorrow. Boeing is sitting right in that level. Look at this massive fall here on Boeing. They got a zone right here. Wow. Could we see Boeing at $218 this week? Let's save this. Knowing what you know, you ain't got to be a genius in this. But imagine you, all right, imagine you knowing more. You ever see that movie Limitless? When you get a chance, watch Limitless. It's free on YouTube, okay? That's what this reminds us of. He didn't have any financial knowledge, any of that, right? But he could stand in front of a room after he popped that pill and go over the market and break down these companies Imagine the company that you work for. Okay, you may work for a certain company. Let's say, for example, somebody on here worked for Google, and you see that the people in the boardrooms, you walk past the boardroom every day, and they're smiling. Yeah. And then one day you standing by the coffee machine, and you see, a third level tier executive. That's the one that's still running the coffee. And you say, "Hey, Peter, I know I work down in the mailroom, but can I share something with you? Hey, what's up? I think trouble is about to cook on Google around around this $328 a share. Nah, we good, man. We good. Listen, look, just mind your business, okay? Yeah, but I think just hey, listen, you don't want to end up like Earl. Earl knew too much. Okay? Earl knew too much. And then you're waiting for that market to come right back to that level. 328, 330. Mark that on your calendars. But imagine working in a company and saying to yourself and seeing something in the market, okay? Seeing something in the market and being able to sit in the rooms with these high-level execs. You may not understand everything that they're saying, but you can show them the pattern. Inverted. Okay. Inverted. Nice. Yeah, waiting to see if that violation happens. If that violation happened, they could have a nice run. I don't want them to just break it and just keep running though. Because with these wicks, they'll just run it all the way down. There's a play right in here that if we had one more time frame, we could see it. It's right in there. So if they close above that, we might see them react off of that level. It's right in here. So it's a head and shoulder right in there. So now they trapped. So they got to play a big move now. They got to make a big decision. They either got to break that high with a massive run. Yeah, this is the 1 minute. They either got to break that high with a massive run. There we go. See that massive run. And now they need to hold it and pull back. Oh, nope. They just wicked it. They need to hold it. They need to stay up there. If they stay up there, see, they just throwing wicks in that level. They throwing wicks up there. They need a massive run if they're going to continue this. Yeah, they throwing needles. Yeah, those are just ice picks. When they keep throwing those ice picks, it's like chipping away the ice, trying to break it. What I love about live testing is that you get to react in real time. Okay. That's the thing about the 1 minute, especially on gold. You get to react in real time. Okay. And it's not about, oh man, I need this thing to drop 100 pips. No, it's about when it came to that level, did it react? Did it react off the zone that you were predicting? If it did, you won the trade. Because the moment you get to the higher time frame, that's when you're going to see bigger reactions. Okay. When you know you got your levels marked right. Okay. They're just throwing wicks. They need to close above. If they close above that level, okay, they close above here, they can react off that zone. Let's see. Yep. If they close, they're going to try to come back and react. See if they're going to react off that level. They just need to close above. They got about 25 seconds. And then creating a starting point. Yep, I told you they needed a big run. 17 seconds. There's something in there right there. All right, so now they need to throw a wick back to that level. Ooh. All right, next candle's going to come up. There we go. Next candle comes up. They need to come back to this level. Oh, they're trying to run. They're trying to run. Hmm. This is going to be a starting point right here, meaning they need to come back to this level because this would be a head and shoulder. If they come back down like this, tap this level and then shift back up higher. So now that's going to be a head and shoulder. Let's see if they can break through here, pick this up, and then keep going. Right, so they tapping off of this one. We're going to go into a little consolidation phase. All right, next one is going to open up. 3, 2, 1. Ooh, still bullish. Still bullish. Tapping off of that. All right, this is a starting point here. Tapped off of it. Look like they're trying to create a support level. All right, that's all they're doing is trying to create support. All right, what we want to see, high, low, high. Let them come back. Break the starting point. Tap the low, and then let it go. That's going to be the move. All right, let me save this. Okay. Are they going to try to run it now? No. Nah. They playing games. I'm not going to babysit it. Yeah. All right, I saved it already. 53, 58 range. Just looking for a reaction. All right. Save it, download it. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for tuning in. Tomorrow, let's be prepared. Show up on time, and get this thing popping. Hey, let me see. Let me see. I didn't want to try to pull back now. They're back in the range. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Here they come. Here they come. There you go. Hmm. There you go. You're almost there. There you go. And welcome home.
Minute chart, minute chart, minute chart, minute chart.
Okay, they are in the zone, like auto zone. Give me that rejection. There you go. Beautiful rejection. Beautiful rejection off of that level. Good 17 pips. Okay. Okay, you know we're going to have a problem here. You know we have a problem right there. Perfect. Nice reaction. Nice reaction. Y'all see that? Nice reaction off of that level. Nice gap in that zone. Beautiful sniper. Beautiful sniper. And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, wow. Just like that. Wasn't that amazing or what? No stress at all. No stress at all. What do you guys think about that? No stress at all. And we did this on
Minute chart,
the minute chart.
wish wealth upon me.
Hey,
Minute chart, wish wealth upon me. Minute chart,
let's go.
wish wealth upon me. Lord, don't cry no more. Minute by minute, it molded me.
Let's go.
Head and shoulders in my sight, so I can't see. Trying to read the market while emotions testing me. Many trades try breaking me, but I stay disciplined. Every loss was tuition, turn pain into dividends. I don't slip, I don't chase, I just wait, I just watch. 1 minute moving fast, 5 minutes slowing the plot. They want money, I want clarity, they want wins, I want truth. Minute chart, show intention, high time frame get proof. Minute chart,
Wish wealth upon me.
minute chart.
Let's go, let's go, let's go. I want to thank all of you for tuning in. If you want more of this greatness, tune in tomorrow. Same time, same place. Let's go. Wow, look at that thing rise. Whoa.